So the next 15, 20 minutes, we are going to have China Unicom talk about their experiences with CORD and how they want to now evolve those experiences into what they are supporting, the multi-access edge cloud, which we heard about in the morning. So China Unicom is a partner operator on our board and on the TLT. Dr. Tong is our board member and the TLT member. Unluckily, he was supposed to be here. He is not going to be here last week. He had something unexpected show up and said he cannot make it. He has provided his slides. The good part is I and some of the ONF team were in China last week. We had a China Unicom ONF co-run Edge Cloud workshop. So I'm pretty familiar with it. So I'm going to be the one delivering the China Unicom slides. But these are his slides. These are his words. So everything I'm saying is on his behalf. All right. So the contents we are going to cover are brief update on how the journey has been at China Unicom. They have been very focused on M-Cord from maybe 18 months ago, 12 months ago. What has, how that maturity of their understanding of M-Cord and how they want to use it has come to what they want to propose next, which is this two ONF reference designs, which they would be one of the lead operators backing it, and some of the use cases where they already have plans to use that technology in the next 12 to 18 months. Okay, so we are going to walk them through. Obviously, I know what I know. I don't know a lot about their plans, so if there are any specific questions, I'm happy to forward them to Dr. Tang. All right, so the most, I think you are showing me slide number, version number 1, not version 2. There is version 2 of the deck. If you can switch to version 2, which was provided to, yeah, perfect. It's, you are running, I think this is the old slide deck. Anyway, I'll do my best. I think, can you get Sadev to give them version 2? Thank you. All right, so the M-Cord trials, they started with a cord in the box sitting in Beijing. They have now grown it to a multi-instance M-Cord, 2 actual pods running, full disaggregated servers with leaf spine fabric and all of the standard cord pod, and 1 cord in the box. And now they have also got a cross-domain thing going between Beijing and Shenzhou, which is where the third pod is sitting. They have done network slicing across these pods and created this PCC function, which is kind of the precursor to what they want to do with 5G architecture, right? So this is a trial, and this is how they have physically created those pods. If you see, they have added 2 pods, 2x2 leaf spine fabric in the middle with compute, and RRU, a small cell RRU station, and video servers to create the traffic across that system. And this is how it looks like in their labs, which I saw back in last 2 weeks ago, and it's running on Dell, Edge Core, white boxes, and the bi-cell small cells. So this is what they wanted to showcase about. This is using actual ONOS as the SDN controller. They have created a service graph using XOS for the mobile virtual services, and that's the service graph UI you see on the left up there, and all that systems are under one ONOS in each pod, right? So that's how it works. The interesting thing is they have created this network slicing as a trial basis. They have created 5 slices, not 1. And then they have put different quality of service on each of those. The notebooks which you see are simulating the EUs, and the one with the 3 antennas sticking at the back is their RRU, which we talked about, and then you see the video servers servicing these different slices at different quality of service expectations, and obviously they change the cost parameters to show how the video degrades or is enhanced as the cost changes. So the event we were there in in November 3 weeks ago was the Global Networking Technology Conference in Nanjing, and they integrated this whole M-Cord pod into this end-to-end demonstration, which showcased SDN NFV plus IPv6, and you see the number of their partners they used in that demonstration. The multi-site thing, if you see on the right side of your screen, is the M-Cord pod. There is a SD-WAN fabric in the middle being orchestrated by a OSS layer on the top. Fiber Home was the partner who provided that, and Ixia and others, as you see in the bottom, are included. And this was basically done to ensure that they can not only test the connectivity and the functionality, but also the performance, right? And so the performance matrix were published. All right, so so this is how the first step, the reference design, all their explorations with M-Cord, their big trial, big lab trial, and a demonstration of that in the last thing. So going forward, the reference design they want to propose. In fact, they are ready to propose it in 2 steps or 2 different reference designs, is building this multi-access edge cloud based on M-Cord, which they know and love, as well as the converged access and core reference design. So these are the 2 RDs. They've already made a presentation to the TLT in November. The TLT is exploring it, and obviously the community is talking about it now. And this will be a 2019 RD if the board and everyone approves. All right, so this is work in progress. It's not done yet, but this is what their proposal is. And what they want to do is they want to base this around a stable and secure EPC. So that's the ask from the community, and you'll hear luckily that ask is going to be met pretty soon, thanks to the people who are going to follow and talk about it. They want to support this joint testing with white box small cells and EPC, and they want to leverage NFV fabric, the leaf-spine fabric from Trellis, and the UPAN, Unified Programming and Automated Network components, especially the P4 and things like that coming forward. And they think that they can get to an RD's draft status from their perspective within 12 months or a little over. So they already have a pilot application in mind to put this to use in the next 12, 18 months. And they're doing it in their power field asset inspection and monitoring kind of environment, where obviously there's a lot of field assets, there's a lot of monitoring, there's a lot of videos, there is, there's some robots which are monitoring their grid. And that's where they want to bring in Cord at the bottom right, which is at the far end of their network, and bring that data into the management of the grid, as you see on the picture. I obviously don't know all the components of that power grid scheduling network as well as the management information network, but this is the edge architecture they have a ready beta site, if you want to call it that, to put this to use. So they, in addition to doing the beta, they also want to invite this community, and one community they have already created in China called the China Cord Alliance, Industry Alliance, where a lot of Chinese vendors, including the ones mentioned above before, are members of. So they want to create this international open lab, which would work with Network Research Institute, where Dr. Tang, he is the chief scientist, and bring in their partners' ideas into this open international lab, which will feed into both the China Unicom, their operational side of China Unicom on the top, and get inputs from TIP and ONF and kind of upstream projects, northbound projects on there, as well as their customers, right? So one thing I didn't mention, which I should have mentioned, is an interesting thing about China Unicom is about a year ago, they raised a lot of funding, and the funding partners they raise money from are all the OTT, the largest OTT providers of China: Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, okay? So now they're kind of, on their board are their biggest customers and their biggest drivers of how they should be planning their network forward. And this has given them a very interesting twist, and that's kind of what is motivating them, some of these use cases, and you'll see that in a second. All right, so finally, once they have kind of focused on the mobile side of things, they want to bring the virtual RAN piece in together with PON into an integrated edge cloud platform, and that's why they are sponsoring and supporting the multi-access edge reference design. And this picture is something you saw from before. Obviously, they have been in touch with people like Larry and others. All right, so last set of use cases. These are the use cases for that multi-access edge cloud, which they have thought about. And the first one is simple. It's streaming. It's a content delivery system, but targeted at virtual reality, gaming, dynamic CDN, and obviously video. You can never ignore video. So they've signed this alliance with Tencent, Alibaba, Baidu, their stakeholders in this conference last year, Edge Cloud Eco Partners Conference, and they have already done, this is the product they want to support, Edge Video. They have completed some live VR testing on it, and they want to take this forward in using this platform. The second one, and this is kind of an interesting application, is Smart Olympics. If you know, in 2022, Beijing is going to host the Winter Olympics. And like we heard from SK Telecom and KT and others maybe a year ago, that was a driving force behind some of the technology evolution of their networks. So in this case, they want to have these three key pieces installed for the Winter Olympics: smart, the intelligent monitoring and sensing of the logistical flow of people and goods and everything around it. They want to have it, the brilliant piece is basically having the AR, VR support available to anyone who wants to view this around the world, but especially in China. And lastly, security, the safety of everyone, spectators and their fleets. So this is the thing they have created. They are the official partner, and they have created a small video, a minute long. So they wanted us to see it. Please cue it, please.
中国联通，北京2022年冬奥会官方合作伙伴，以匠心铸就实力，创建更智慧的未来网络，让世界共同见证冰雪盛世。智慧冬奥，联通未来，中国联通。
All right, a couple of use cases, and then I'll stop. They have given us, in fact, 7 use cases. I'm not going to go through them all in detail. The smart security based on AI, based on a lot of inference engines and video processing at the edge is a use case they want to talk about. They have both commercial applications in a particular project, an industrial project, as well as, of all things, in a crayfish breeding farm. They have put some intelligence at the edge of in this kind of industrial environment, which they want to be able to process and do local decisioning based on real-time and real-time response to it, based on what they can infer fast. The others are smart traffic, smart ports, and smart manufacturing. Again, these are all forward-looking things, and I think all of us can kind of make a judgment of what they are thinking of, but I won't get into a lot of details, though they have provided me a bunch of details, which maybe is interesting if we had more time.